So here we are, episode 7, gear review. First of many, but it's episode 7. These boots are made for walking.
Thank you, Barry.
Barry's back, baby. So the gear review episodes, it's first of many, and you know, we're not sponsored by anybody.
Right.
So when we do a gear review, it's going to be because one of us, or maybe all three of us, have found gear that really worked for us, that really checked all the boxes, and we felt like it was important enough to throw our opinions out there on it, or because it's gear that's so essential to having a good hunt or a good trip that we want to make sure people are thinking about it, really, right. Which is kind of what we want to talk about now for both reasons. So we're going to talk about boots. I had some foot issues, and so boots became incredibly important to me. So I'm the type of hunter that puts a lot of miles on, and you know, I catastrophically broke my left foot 10 years ago, maybe longer than that, right? And I was having major issues with my foot, and then it led to having plantar fasciitis, and a whole slew of issues with my feet. And I went through so many different brands of boots. And then the reason I specifically wanted to do a gear review on boots was because I found a boot that, I mean, it fixed my foot problems. My feet actually feel healthier now. And there's a few other things. I changed my diet. I lost a little bit of weight. All of that, I'm sure, played into it. But these Crispies, I mean, they really checked all the boxes.
So I guess, do you want to go over what you've tried and how you, or I guess, what do you look for in a boot?
Yeah. So I do. So me personally, I don't look for insulation value, and I don't know if you guys do. I mean, I get cold.
I think we've all said the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all pretty much, if we plan on walking, even if it's 20 degrees out, 0 insulation.
That's it. Yep. I'm in the same boat. So I'm not looking for an insulated boot, but lightweight, rugged. So I found boots that worked, but the longevity wasn't there in them. They fell apart so fast. Some of them, Cabela's brand boot, not to knock Cabela's, right? Because I think Cabela's is a great company. They did not make it through one hunt in Alaska, Kodiak Island. By the end of the hunt, I threw them away in the airport, didn't even fly them home because they were trashed. I wore Merrells. Merrells are a great boot, and I think one of you is going to touch on them later, but they worked great for me, but the longevity wasn't there. They wore out quick. Tried a few other brands that caused my feet immense pain, and one of those brands is right here, a Muck boot. They're great if you're doing chores or if you're, because I'm a budding waterfowl hunter. These are great if you're on the edges of a swamp and you know you're not going to be going in deep. It's a real shallow area or it's real muddy. These are awesome. But if you're putting any miles on at all, these will tear your feet up. At least for me, they tore my feet up. Now I put Dr. Scholl's inserts in there. Yeah. And the inserts made a big difference for me with foot problems, but still, I mean, a $20 set of inserts is not going to fix an entire boot for you.
Yeah, I've put a lot of miles in those Muck boots and was pretty happy with them. But the walking caused the feet sweat. If you're going to keep walking, that's fine. But the feet sweat, and then you know the subsequent cold after that is where it gets me. Yeah. That's where I went with the non-insulated. Yeah. Now, if I'm going to sit all day, I'm probably wearing those Muck boots.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I think you and I share the fact that we both were rocking the same Merrell boot.
Yeah.
We were both wearing the Merrell 8-inch Moab 2 Tactical.
Yep.
Great boots, loved them. I actually, I had bought 2 pair. I bought a pair to wear every day. As a firefighter, I love the duty boot, side zip.
So that's what a duty boot is.
That is what a duty boot is.
I've heard that term before, and I've never really known what it was.
Right. That's what, classify as duty boot, because you wear those around the station or whatever, and then when you need to get your boot off quickly, you can unzip the side, kick them off, and put your turnout gear on.
Okay.
So that's the duty boot. So you've had them and didn't know you had them.
Okay. So, all right. Awesome.
But, and I wore those for 3 years.
Yeah.
Almost every day. But they only survived one trip out west.
Yeah.
And specifically, the area that I hunted that year was very rocky.
Yeah.
And that rockiness in the sneaker type sole that a Merrell boot is, it just ripped the treads apart. And I think I did the same thing. I think when I was done in the week, I tossed them in the trash and didn't even bring them home because
No.
they were missing. I love those boots too.
Well, and you brought up a point, the sneaker sole, if you're going somewhere and it's real dry, real crunchy, real noisy, but you're doing a spot and stock style hunt,
Right.
you're going to want that sneaker sole because that is, these Crispies have, and what's the model on these? The Mountain GTX. They checked all the boxes for me, except they're noisy because that is that is a stiff sole.
Yeah.
It does not bend, it does not give. And so every twig that you step on doesn't just break, it snaps. And so there is no way to walk through the woods. So they are rough for spot and stock hunting. You just have to be smart. You have to go when it's wet or choose your steps a little more carefully.
See, I had Merles this year, and I only bought them because Joe recommended them.
Yeah.
So, even though they didn't work out for him, he still said they're in a boot.
Yep.
They're good to take out west, and I even wear them here.
Yeah.
I'll take them turkey hunt, whatever.
They're so comfortable.
They're comfortable.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, they're waterproof. They
Yep.
hold up good. But I guess, and Joe and I talking about this episode a little bit beforehand, he said one of the things that I got lucky with, at least where we were at this year.
Right.
So it was drastically different than where you were at.
Where we hunted
before.
this year didn't have the exposed rocks. It wasn't,
Yeah.
it was still steep, but it wasn't as worn in. And when you run into those jagged rocks and stuff like that, I mean, it eats a boot
Oh, yeah.
unless
For
you
sure.
have a really good pair.
But you wore them during your personal life too.
Right.
They would hold up
Oh, absolutely.
quite a while.
And I love them. They were waterproof. They were great boots.
And there's really no break-in period for them. I
Right.
mean, they're a great, if you didn't put a lot of time in and you've got a hunting trip coming up or season and you didn't, because we all live lives outside of hunting season. I wish we didn't, but we do.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, that season or that trip sneaks up on you to go, oh my gosh, I didn't think of this or that or this. Well, if one of those things you didn't think about is boots, go get Merrells because you don't need to think about them. There's no break-in. They're going to be comfortable for you. Every single person I've talked to that runs Merrells is like, they're the most comfortable boot I've ever put on.
Right.
They just don't last that long. But to get you through a season or a hunt, get them.
And a typical first time going out of state,
Yeah.
I didn't buy mine until 2 weeks before we left.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And they probably worked fine for you.
Was that wasn't a good move on my part, but I wore them maybe 3 or 4 days building up to it.
Yeah.
They were broken. They were fine. Never
Yeah.
had a problem with them.
Yeah.
But we were lucky. We weren't going over rocks. It was pretty much just,
Yep.
it wasn't really aggressive
Well,
terrain.
And they're affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
they're-
for the price point, they're very
and
affordable.
they're locally available.
Yep.
That was
That's-
the number
oh,
one
that's
thing.
another good
I
thing.
mean, I went local. I went to Dunham's
Yeah.
and I bought them there.
Yep.
I probably could have shopped around, but with 2 weeks, I was
You didn't have time.
in a pinch.
Yeah,
So-
you're looking at Crispies or, the ones I'm rocking here, Zamberlins. You don't buy those anywhere around DuBois, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
Now, to that point, there is a Crispy dealer in Bellefonte. So it's called Center County Boot Company. So if you live in Pennsylvania and you're thinking about Crispies, go try them on. Even if it's an hour, 2-3 hours away, it's worth it because Bellefonte's a little over an hour away from us.
Oh, yeah.
But it was still well worth the drive to go to this store. They have a ton of these in stock. You can try them on. And Crispy makes socks that are engineered to work with their boots. And so they had them there and I was able to try the socks on. And at first I was like, I couldn't tell any difference. But now the $40 socks, they're worth it. They're merino wool. So they wick. We talked
Right.
about this earlier.
Wicking.
Yeah.
Good pair of socks is, just as important as a
I
boot.
was just going to
Yep.
say, as long as you pair your socks right with the boot,
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Well, and I ended up in, there was a shop in Altoona that is where I went to try some boots on. And I actually, at the time, I went to buy a pair of Canatrex.
Yeah.
You're dropping over $4 for that. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm making the commitment. I've went through a couple pair of Merles. I went through, I had a pair of Bates duty boots. Loved those. They didn't last out there. I was tired of lugging around the muck boots.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Woo.
I'm thinking, what is he looking
Yeah,
at?
I'm looking back here at my muck boots that are, darn near shot at this point, or are shot. Those have been replaced. So I went to buy Canatrex, and
Yeah.
that's Randy Newberg runs them, and I was like, "Yep, that's what I'm getting." And I tried
You're a
them on.
Newberg fan.
I'm a big Newberg fan.
You talked about that. Yeah.
And and I tried them on, and they have a real high arch, and they were just uncomfortable. And I know
of that arch.
Because of the arch, and I know that they're good boots.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wear them. So then it sent me on a hunt around the store, and I ran across these Zamberlins, and I put them on. I'm like, oh my gosh! But me being a researcher, I went and I was buying. So to change at the store at that point, that's not happening. You know, I got to do a couple weeks worth of research. I got to make sure that these things hold up. You know, and I didn't even know what style I wanted at that point. But I got the size that I needed there because it's important with boots, especially something you're going to put 20 or 30 miles on in a couple days. You want to make sure they fit right.
Yes.
That just because you wear a size 11 Nike doesn't mean you wear a size 11 Crispy or Zamberlin or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I got the size that I wanted. I looked around a little bit. Fortunately, Zamberlin has a first responder program that military first responders you can buy at a discount at times. So I actually got these at a little bit of a discount, which made them a little bit more affordable.
Are they light?
They're very light. You want to try that?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. You can fall in love. So yeah,
that's a nice boot.
Yeah, they're almost as light as the box they came in.
Yeah.
And I lather them up with their special oil every year before I go. You know, because when you make an investment like this, you take care of them.
Absolutely.
You take care of them.
Yeah. Yeah. We're still figuring things out with the. We got some new equipment with the new studio. We're still figuring it out.
I don't know at what point in time that flashed up, but Jesse, what do you got in your hand?
Jesse finally starts to talk.
It's like every time Jesse tries to participate, the equipment screws him over.
So I actually run Timberland. I just run a short boot. I've run Rockies, Irish Setters,
Crocs.
I've wore Crocs. Turkey hunt.
Now, do you prefer Crocs 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive?
Depends on what mood I'm in. I mean, I don't know.
If you're going hard,
if you
drop that strap.
Yeah. I mean, starting off, 2-wheel drive.
if you're smacking a long beard, they better be in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I've heard the joke. Have you literally worn Crocs and killed a turkey?
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
I love that.
Listen,
it doesn't matter what gear I'm wearing. I still can't kill him, and he's killing them in Crocs.
It's 90 degrees outside today. Like, if I'm out
Crocs
today, I'm in Crocs.
Yeah,
no
or
doubt.
flip-flops.
Yeah,
Do you hunt in flip-flops too?
I've never done that. No.
I could call it an airstrike. I'm a $1 billion fighter jet. I can't get a turkey. He's running Crocs. And
I'm telling you, they don't care. So, but I've ran Rockies, and I do like the rubber boots, like muck boots, but they're actually rubber, just for the scent control aspect. Mm-hmm. So I've ran those quite a bit in archery season, especially because whenever I was younger, those were really affordable. They were just everywhere.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
I would just get a really good pair of socks, and that was, that was the insulation I needed, and I would just tough it out.
Okay, younger rubber boots. Who had Mickey Mouse boots?
Oh,
yeah.
The moon boot.
The moon boot, baby.
Yeah.
Your feet were warm, but boy, did they sweat.
Oh, did they sweat?
And those things weighed 8 pounds apiece.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like
We've
dragging.
come a long way. Yeah. But to that point, when I was a kid, I was heavily involved in Boy Scouts as a young man, right? As a kid, and so we spent a lot of time in the woods, a lot of time like during inclement weather, cold weather camping, and I don't even remember the boots that I wore. Yeah. Like now you get older and you realize that my enjoyment for the hunt is really what's the most important. And so my gear allowing me to do what I want to do, whether it's to go to that next ridge, to hike to that alpine lake, whatever it is, as long as my gear lets me do what I want to do for my hunt to be enjoyable, that's what matters. So my gear matters. But when I was younger, I was able to power through all that. So it didn't matter. I could have been in flip-flops and still hiked 10 miles in Colorado when I was in my early 20s. I can't do that now.
When I think some of that has changed. Like, I know whenever I went out of state, my outlook on things changed.
Yeah.
So if I'm spending quite a bit of money and I have, top of the line ammo or whatever I'm doing, my bag, I have hundreds of dollars into that. My license cost to get out there, my rifle. I mean, it all starts with the.
Yeah.
Well,
you're right.
I could have an amazing gear, but if I can only walk 2 miles and then I on my foot and I'm out of commission,
Yeah.
I might as well not took the gun. I might as well have just got.
That's
good
right.
boots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No, you're right.
At least I would have seen the sights.
Yeah.
Right?
In that more in-depth hunting, and we associate that with the West more for us because central Pennsylvania, you walk a couple miles in and you're probably hitting another road or whatever.
Mhm.
But we associate that with Western hunting. That's where you find the weakest link in your gear.
Absolutely.
Is it your pack that's too heavy? Is it your boots that rub the wrong way? Are you too hot, too cold? All that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where, I don't know that I'd have this set of boots if I never went out west because I wouldn't have destroyed Rockies. I wouldn't have destroyed Merles. I don't care about the weight of a muck boot if I'm only walking 500 yards
Right. Yeah.
and sitting in a tree all day.
Funny story. Anybody that knows me or has went hunting with me, I like snacks.
Right?
Yeah.
You
You
go
like
out
some
west,
snacks.
realize that maybe you don't need that many snacks.
Well, it's
So
so.
our first day.
Oh yeah.
I packed like a chubby kid going to camp.
Well, and that's funny because every day you can tell
I was loving
how
it.
many days into a hunt I'm in by looking
By
up
what comes out.
at how bare bones my
Right.
pack is.
Yeah.
And I do it every time I go out there. I've got all this stuff in my pack, and then by day 2, my spotting scope gets left back or whatever. I thought my binoculars are good
Yeah.
enough. It's like,
By day 5, you're like, do I really need that zip tie for the tag?
Yeah.
Is it really that important to zip tie the tag on the ear?
One of my best friends, who I go to Southeast Missouri duck hunting with, and I went to high school with him, he goes out west basically every year, sometimes twice a year. And he had a hunt that was greatly ruined by having the wrong pair of boots set up for him. His feet were destroyed by day 3. He had to cut the hunt out early because of his boots. But he has a saying, him and his friend Mark, who also goes to Missouri with us, ounces lead to pounds, pounds lead to pain. And it's absolutely right, and pain leads to you cutting your hunt out early, and so when you, and then you take into account the inclement weather, when you're going on a hunt trip like that, you have to pick those dates 6 months in advance, sometimes longer, and you've spent years accumulating points maybe, so it's not like you can just say, well, we'll push the hunt, the weather's going to be terrible, and it doesn't work for me to just willy-nilly adjust it 10 days, so we'll just go next year. Well, no, because you used all your points to get that tag, so you got to go. And it doesn't matter what Mother Nature's doing. If the weather's awful, you're there. So your gear, like you said, you'll find the weakest link in your gear because Mother Nature, I don't know if I've ever been on a hunt out west where the weather has been great the whole time. Because mountain hunting.
You'd have to define great.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I've been out, where it's 65 degrees and dropping 25 at night. Well, that's nice hunting weather, but it's not great for elk.
Well, yeah,
that's terrible elk.
It's nice weather to be in,
right?
But it's not nice weather to hunt in because you're not going to find any.
things.
Those elk are big animals, and when that weather's hot, they'll shut an elk hunt down like that.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, that's where these come in. That's where a good set of boots saves that hunt because once you strap 100 pounds of meat on your back and it's wet, and you're climbing up and down hills, it's not your hat that causes you pain.
No, it's those boots.
It's the boots.
Yes.
The rest of your clothing.
Well, and just to get that 100 pounds of meat on your back, if the weather's going to be bad, which it's going to be bad because it's always bad because you can't plan around the weather. The weather, you go regardless. And so your boots are going to allow you to, when it's hot, where did the elk go? The north side of the mountain. They're in that dark timber. Yeah. That dark timber is the worst stuff in the world to hike through, right? Yeah. And if you got bad boots, I'm telling you, you'll do it day 1 and you ain't doing it day 2 then. If you have any bad gear, you're not doing it day 2 or 3 because it's the most god-awful terrain out there, that dark timber.
One to bring it back to PA, like, whenever I went out west, I bought all this gear. You come back here and you realize, it makes the hunt so much more because now, that 10 mile, I'd do 10 miles on maybe the first day of turkey.
Yeah.
I might walk 10 miles.
Yeah.
Lucky. I don't know. But, whenever I do that in the proper gear, I'm not hurting as I was the year before.
Doesn't feel like 10 miles, does it?
But before I would just be like, I can deal with it. Because I'm going to push hard for a day and then probably not hunt for 4 or 5 days. Maybe I'll get out again.
Yep.
And then I'm more willing to accept, I guess, lesser quality
mediocre gear.
Yeah.
Right.
So, whenever you're out there and you're hunting 5 days straight, got to count on it.
Yeah.
It does change things.
Yeah.
But whenever you come back here, that gear just amplifies the hunt, makes it way more enjoyable.
Well, to that point, I think what it's done
longer.
for me is I've been able, when I've fine-tuned my gear to be able to allow me to do Western hunting, what it's allowed me to do in Pennsylvania hunting is I'm able to go hard, like you said, instead of going hard for a day, I can now, when the time permits, family and work, I can go hard day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You know, I can just keep going hard because I feel good enough. I can still perform at work. I can still do all my dad duties to my 2 kids, you know, because I'm not worn out. So I'm able to hunt a lot harder back home now because my gear's fine too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a great point.
I like one to get to walk.
Yeah.
When I'm out west, I always have to see what's over the next ridge out there. And that's the big. That's
looking at that to make sure it's not cutting out again.
Yeah, for the viewers, there's not, you know, there's a TV on the wall that we can kind of watch ourselves to make sure none of the stuff is messing up. So we're kind of side eyeing it at this point just to make sure it's not screwing us up again.
We'll get it figured out in the new studio eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a little bit more new equipment. And
Joe, I think you brought it up once before, kind of whenever we started hunting, because we're all around that same age. I think you brought it up that maybe was all these options there and we just know about it,
right?
Or
did
things that
did it advance,
so
or did we, you know, have we gotten older and kind of sissified?
Yeah.
You know, is age catching up to us and we need these, or is it realization that they're there now and that it makes the hunt more enjoyable? I mean, it's kind of one of those things, you don't know what you have until you lost it. Well, you didn't know what you were dealing with until you don't have to deal with it anymore.
I think it's both. Yeah. You know, I think we're older now, so, you know, with age comes wisdom. Well, I mean, I actively fight against that, that saying every day of my life because I'm not very wise, you know, but even though I fight it, I'm still wiser today than I was yesterday. And so, you know, with age comes wisdom. So yeah, we've realized that all these things are more important to us now. And there's a lot more options out there than
there are.
In our budgets, as you age, your budget's probably more. I mean, when I was first starting hunting, my budget was, what can I beg, borrow, steal? You know, to get me out in the woods.
Yeah, well, who handed you down what?
Yeah, and what socks I wore were what I could steal out of my dad's sock drawer without him noticing. I
had a one-piece camo jumpsuit. And I would put on 15 layers to the point I couldn't draw my bow back.
Right.
When I
go sit in the trees.
When I first started bow hunting, I don't even know what boots I wore.
Right.
I don't remember wearing boots. I probably wore work boots, right? And I wore Advantage camo. Do you remember the Advantage camo?
That is
old school.
Yeah.
Oh, denim jeans. They were denim jeans that were Advantage camo denim jeans and a one size too small Advantage camo fleece jacket. And I would just pile clothes on underneath it, which was great because it was already too small.
Yes.
Marshmallow Man. It was awesome.
You made spandex popular before it was popular.
Yeah. So, but I think to bring us back before we wrap it up, I think, you know, boots are so incredibly important to your hunt. And I think that's evident without me having even realized it in that, you know, in episode 2, we talked about traditions. And I'm so sorry, I thought I saw something flashing over there again. I'm like, you know, traditions and things that we do that are important to us, maybe outside of the hunt, right? And one of my traditions is, and I don't remember to do it every time, and I've done it for probably a good 10 years now. Every harvest that I get.
Okay. Now we're back. So, you know, I take a picture after every harvest, after all the tailgate high fives and the driving around and showing it to all your buddies. And I'm home, and at the end of the night, I've got a fireplace in my basement from that camp. We've got a wood burner in the great room. I take my boots off. I set them next to the fire. Usually dry them out because they're sweaty. They're, you know, especially if you're recovering an animal, it's hard work. I take a picture of my boots because that picture tells a story. And the harder the recovery, it always tends that your boots are more trash. You know, this bear recovery, I'd love to say that Barry was a huge bear, but he was not. But he was my first bear, and he was with a bow in Pennsylvania. Meant a lot to me. But that recovery was awful. He died in
I mean, people talk about like, oh, my deer ran into a hellhole, right? This thing died in the definition of a hellhole, and they're like Velcro. And there's no antlers to grab onto, and so I'm sitting there trying to move this thing, and it just sticks to the ground, So the recovery was awful, and so at the end of that day, my boots were just covered in mud, blood. It really told a story about just how awesome that recovery was. Because it really was. It was a great experience. It was a great recovery. It was an awesome hunt. It was an awesome animal. We worked hard at it. That day was cold. I sat in the stand all day, froze my butt off, but harvested my first and only black bear. And then so the recovery kind of just went right in with that because they're tough animals. And so it was a tough recovery, which kind of makes me smile. It's fun, actually,
Yeah, you don't enjoy it in the moment.
No, you don't.
Looking back on it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, but the amount of recovery with the harvest and what your boots play in that, I think just the fact that without me even realizing it, this is something I've done as a tradition just proves how important your boots are to you in your hunt.
Absolutely. I remember, almost a full mule deer on my back, wet day, and just slipping, sliding in these boots right here. And I mean, they got good traction. Yeah. And one of the things, when you buy a boot like this, that you'll notice is very little flex in the shank, and then a lot of ankle support.
Oh yeah.
It is an entire new way of walking when you first put these on. Yeah. If you've ever put ice skates on, like the hockey skates, that's what a brand new pair of boots like this.
Yeah, you duck waddle.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get my ankle to articulate forward or to the side when I first put these on because of that ankle support.
And when you break them in right, it only moves the right way.
Yeah.
I don't know how somebody would have to step on your ankle to make it go side to side with these.
I think they're designed that way because side hilling. They talk about side hilling all the time. When you do a lot of side hilling out west, and side hilling is killer on your ankles and your knees. And so if you can keep your ankle from flexing, especially as rocks are given away and everything else, boy, because I mean, it's never happened to me, but can you imagine how devastating that would be for so many different reasons if you're on a recovery or on a stalk and you're in one of those places that are just far out and you break your ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't imagine what a mess that would be.
Yeah. It would be bad.
That would be bad.
Yeah. Another good reason to invest in a good pair of boots, because I am sure these boots are way less than what a medevac costs.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The search and rescue people are not. I bet you they have good boots.
I bet they do. Yeah, I guarantee it. Yeah. So I guess, to wrap it up, at least with what my thoughts are, if you're looking at elevating your hunt to the next level, the first thing that you should probably look at isn't a gun. It's not a bow. It's not bibs or pants, suspenders or belts. It's not optics. It's boots. This will elevate your hunt more, I think, than anything else. And I don't mean specifically Crispies. Crispies with a Dr. Scholl's insert worked flawlessly for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work that way for you. So just start with whatever your budget is. Find your budget and start working that budget and find that boot that works well for you and then run with it, because I think that is the first stepping stone, or the foundation stone, I guess you could call it, to really taking your hunt to the next level.
I agree. I mean, I think live within your means, obviously. You don't have to have a $400 boot to go out west, but, just understand if you're planning on a big hunt or hiking or something like that, do your research.
Yep.
Ask some friends, talk to some, because, like you said, I don't, nobody ever, I don't think the gear that you're wearing is important as a footwear, because if you don't have the proper footwear, you can't get to the animal. So
you can't utilize that gear anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you can shoot 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
If you can't get to the hilltop to see it, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know what the solution for getting, if you're cold, is? Walk.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't walk, then it doesn't matter.
You and I are going to have fun when we get out west together.
Oh yeah.
Because that's my whole, I just want to move.
I will leave with the closing thought of this. if you are listening to this right now and the time that it's going to air, I would say, and you're planning that hunt and you're on the fence about whether you're going to buy boots, if you're going to buy them now and wear them all summer.
Yes.
Because that's break-in is important, especially with a good pair of Western hunting boot or a good pair of boots. And,
absolutely.
If you're going to buy a pair of boots that are going to last, you're going to have a break-in period.
Yeah.
They're going to be uncomfortable for a while. Sweat in them, get them wet, wear them in like they tell you.
It's not just hunting boots. I mean, Ariats. I wear these every day for work. The first week you buy any leather cowboy boot, you better just plan on being miserable because that break-in period. Right. So to your point, absolutely.
Absolutely. So when you hear this, if it's still, late spring, early summer, somewhere in there? I don't know.
It's all kind of blended together.
We'll call it early spring.
Okay. Ish.
Yeah.
The
weather hasn't changed the spring yet.
Buy the boots. Make sure you wear them for a couple months before you take them out. Get them comfortable. Find out if you need insoles. Take an extra pair of laces or 550 cord. That's what I like to carry just in case.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you're not going to regret. What's the saying? Buy once, cry once. Yeah. You're never going to regret buying a good pair of boots.
No, you won't.
Unless your wife finds the receipt.
So I never ask for receipts. I always tell them, I don't want to know how much money I spent anyways. What's the fun in that? So,
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for listening. And one more thing, if there is some gear that you think is incredibly important to your hunt or your fishing experience or whatever, let us know in the comments. Call in, message us, email us. Let us know what you think is the most important gear to you, because we'd love to look into that as well. Or if you have another boot brand or recommendation for footwear, let us know and let all the other listeners know.
Yeah, comment on it.
We're a community, and that's kind of what we're wanting to start as a community. So let's share some of that information.
Or if you own Zamberlin or a Crispy and want to, throw some boots our way to try out, we're not against trying.
No.
We've bought all this stuff with our hard-earned money, but we're not against trying some stuff for
you want an honest review.
Yeah. So internet, do what you do, and tag Crispy for me, and let them know that I gave him a great plug here.
We're gonna have to get Jesse a third kind.
I need something.
He's gonna have to run something else because we're covering different.
Drop comments if you're on Facebook. Drop a comment on what you run. I would like to maybe there's a couple other brands out there that we don't even know about.
There you go. Yeah, maybe we'll start a hashtag like Dress Jesse.
Yeah.
Like you guys can pick what Jesse uses.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this.
All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody, and stay tuned.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.